Why, hello there, lovely ones. So, there are so many different ways we can do calculations with time, especially with the difference in adding time together, that you've got to explore each one. And so, I'm going to try a few in this video, starting by using this question over here. These questions do come from a worksheet that you can find on twinkle.co.za. So my favorite way to work with time problems is to think of them like a timeline, which is, I suppose, what time is. With that first question, we're sitting on 5 hours, 35 minutes, and 12 seconds. And we're trying to get to a point where we are at 6 hours, 12 minutes, and 19 seconds. So the first thing I'm going to do is to try and get to, let's say, 5 hours. I know this isn't to scale, but stick with me. 5 hours and 36 minutes. In other words, I'm going to add how many seconds to get there? Well, it's 48 seconds to get from there to there. Now, I'm going to try and get to 6 hours over here. So the difference between 5 hours and 36 minutes and 6 hours is going to be 24 minutes. And now it's much easier because now I'm going to go straight from 6 hours to 6 hours and 12 minutes and 19 seconds. In other words, I'm adding another 12 minutes. And I'm adding another 19 seconds. So it's like I'm jumping. I know to get to 5 hours and 36 minutes, I've got to add 48 seconds. Then 24 minutes to get to 6 hours. And then 12 minutes and 19 seconds to get to that other thing. If I add all of those together, I'm going to get 36 minutes. And let's see. That's 67 seconds, which is interesting in itself because 67 isn't actually just in seconds. That is 1 minute and 7 seconds. So in total, I've actually gone 37 minutes and 7 seconds. Another way to do the same problem is to do it in a column method. So I've got 6 hours, and then I've got 12 minutes, and I've got 19 seconds. So this is a separate version. Then I'm subtracting 5 hours, 35 minutes, and 12 seconds. Now the downside with this is it's possible you'll get negative answers. So 19 minus 12 is going to be 7 seconds. And here's where it's interesting. 12 minus 35 is going to be minus 23 minutes. And don't worry, we'll sort it out just now. 6 minus 5 is 1 hour. So now we've got 1 hour, but we've got to subtract the 23 minutes. So that's going to give us 37 minutes and 7 seconds. The other method we can do is actually very similar to that, except then we're going to do the borrowing. And the reason I don't like the borrowing is because this is not a deci system. Deci means decimal, it's 10, and borrowing in hours and things like that, it just requires a little bit more concentration. So once again, that's going to be 7 seconds. But over here, we don't want it to be minus 23 minutes. So we're going to borrow from there. It becomes 5 hours. But then this over here becomes 72 minutes rather than whatever else it would have been. We subtract those two and we're going to get 37 minutes. And then, of course, 5 subtract 5 is 0 hours. So the difference between them, doesn't matter which way you do it, is 37 minutes and 7 seconds. Question B, I'm going to do in my favorite way. So we're going from 9 hours, 14 minutes and 6 seconds to 12 hours, 6 minutes and 3 seconds. And I'm going to get there by adding little bits at a time. So for example, I'm going to start by adding 54 seconds because I know that'll take me to 9 hours and 15 minutes. Now I'm hoping to get to 12 hours and 6 minutes. Now 9 hours, 15 minutes. I'm going to add 45 minutes. And the reason I'm doing that is because then that takes me to 10 hours. Now I'm going to do 10 hours and I will add, now it's nice, I'm adding 2 hours and I'm going to add 6 minutes and I'm going to add 3 seconds because that will then give me 12 hours. Try and squeeze it in, 6 minutes and 3 seconds. So now all I need to do is add up these numbers over here. I've got 54 seconds, 45 minutes, and then I've got the 2 hours, 3 seconds over there. And when I do that, I'm going to get 57 seconds, and then 45 plus 6 is going to be 51 minutes, and it's 2 hours over there. So that is my favorite way. I know it's not everyone's favorite way. Let's do it using subtraction, the column method. We're going to start with the bigger at the top, 12 hours, 6 minutes, and 3 seconds. And then we're subtracting 9 hours, 14 minutes, and 6 seconds from them. I'm going to start over here where I get minus 3 seconds. Then I'm going to get minus, well, that's going to be minus 8 minutes. And then over here I get 3 hours. So now 3 hours minus 8 minutes is going to be 2 hours 52 minutes. But then I'm going to minus 3 seconds from it, so it becomes 2 hours 51 minutes and 57 seconds. Of course, the other method that we looked at just now was the borrowing. So 12, 6, 3, and then we've got 9, 14, and 6. So we're going to borrow from here, so that becomes 5. And this becomes 63 seconds, and then of course we subtract and we get 57 seconds over here. We're going to borrow from here, so that becomes 11, and this becomes 67 or 65. And we subtract and we get 41 minutes, and then we subtract over there and we get 2 hours and 51 minutes. So 3 different methods for those. Then the reason I want to go through C is because at the end we're going to have to change our answers to minutes and seconds as well. So the first part is easy in this part because, well, you can actually just use your calculator, but I'm going to do it over here. We subtract them to get an answer of 7.79 hours. So if we break that up, 7.79 hours is the same as 7 hours plus 0.79 hours. And that's what we need to change. So we're going to change that by multiplying it by 60. Because that'll give us the number of minutes. And that is going to be 47.4 minutes. So just to carry on with what's going on there, we've got 7 hours. Now we've got 47.4 minutes, which is the same as 7 hours plus 47 minutes plus 0,4 minutes. And now we need to change that to be seconds. So we're going to take 0.4 and once again times by 60, which gives us 24. So let's move that over. That's 24 seconds. In other words, it's going to be 7 hours, 47 minutes, and 24 seconds. So there's a lot of dividing by or multiplying by 60. And the reason we do that is because there's 60 minutes in an hour and 60 seconds within a minute. So you take the decimal and you multiply it by 60, and then take the decimal again and multiply it by 60 again. Now I know those calculations look quite messy, so I've written them out a little bit more easily over here. Look at how I've labeled each line. I've shown quickly that I've calculated 7.79 hours and then changed it to minutes and then changed that to seconds, and then I'm repeating the question again, but now with the answer. Now the last question I've taken the liberty of doing over here was to find the difference between 3.5 hours and 9 1/5 hours. I subtracted them, I got 5.7 hours, the 0.7, and then multiplied by 60 to figure out how many minutes it was. So therefore, those hours subtracted from each other give us 5 hours and 42 minutes. And well done if you've made it this long. It is a long video. Much love.